Hello interwebs, and thanks for tuning into TradeChat. My name's Panzer, and today I'm going to be doing another Q&A. I apologize in advance for any weird background noise. It's like a billion degrees here, so there's a couple fans going, and I don't know, it's freaking hot and loud. But let's get right into the questions. If you want to ask me a question for a future Q&A, you can email it to me at asktradechat@gmail.com. The first message comes from Aylin, and it says, "Hey Panzer, how are you doing? I'm watching your channel for a really long time now, and I really love your videos. It's great to see another girl that is so passionate about video games. So I have two questions for you. One, when Mists of Pandaria comes out, have you considered to re-roll your main to something else? And two, what is your favorite mount and favorite pet in WoW?" As far as the first question goes, I will probably main my paladin in Mists of Pandaria. I've been lately trying to get my guild into raiding, and my paladin's she's okay geared. She's not fabulous or anything because she hasn't raided at all, but I'm pretty good at playing a prop paladin, so I will most likely be a tank paladin next expansion. And my favorite mount that I have is on my paladin. I have Baron Riverdale's Death Charger. I just got it the other day out of a satchel for tanking an instance, and it was I pooped my pants. I was so excited. I didn't really poop my pants. I really pooped my pants. I'll let you decide if I pooped my pants or not. My favorite pet in WoW. My favorite pet in WoW is probably Grunty. That was actually a BlizzCon reward for a BlizzCon I didn't go to, but a really close friend of mine did, and he gave it to me because he doesn't play WoW very much, and I was like, oh my god, this is so exciting. And it's a Murloc that's dressed up like a Marine, and it's awesome. So, the next question comes from David, and it says, "Hello, how's it going? In your opinion, what is better, lasagna or pie? Regards, David." It's going well, David, except it's freaking ridiculously hot outside. Which is better, lasagna or pie? Pie by a landslide, especially pumpkin or cherry or apple. Pretty much pie in general is absolutely amazing, and I don't know, lasagna is very hit or miss. I mean, you could definitely make a bad lasagna. I've never met a pie I didn't like, though. Next question comes from Aaron, and that's aka Local Shadow Form, and it says, "Hey Panzer, how are you doing? I'm doing well. My question is, if Warcraft was real life, what class and race would you pick and why? Thanks for your loving your fans. We love you too. Bye." Aw, thanks. I think I've answered this before, but I think it's fun to answer, so I'll answer it again. I would definitely be a mage. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a girl. I would probably want to be a blood elf. Although goblins are pretty cool too. I wouldn't mind if I was a goblin. Yeah, I would be a mage because they can teleport and they can port people places, and that's the coolest thing in the entire world. All the time, I just wish I had a Hearthstone in real life. And mages get portals, and oh, they're so cool, and they can make their own food and water, so that's a survival skill. Plus, you could go frost, and then you have a companion who's really badass and will protect you from things. I would definitely be a mage. I think a mage would be a super, super useful thing to be in real life. The next question comes from Trinity, and it says, "Hey Panzer, could you please put this in your question and answer video? I would be very happy." Well, look what's going on right now. On to the question, LOL. When you were younger, in middle school or high school, did you get good grades and did you like school? P.S. You're amazing and I love your hair. I want to be an awesome WoW player like you and have epic hair. Thank you. I liked school. I actually liked the work and the challenge and learning stuff, and I always got really good grades. I was always a straight A student, top 10% of my class. But I hated the people. I hated the environment of school, the social aspect of it. But I actually really enjoyed the learning, and I did well in school, and I always liked my teachers and stuff. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with school. I thought it was fun. The next question comes from Johannes, or Johannes. I don't know, I'm probably saying it wrong. It says, "Hey TradeChat, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Because of a question last time, I went and watched the whole Tester Season 2, and I loved it. So glad you came so far. But my question is, why were you called War Princess? I'm one of your newer fans, and I would love to know that." I actually had a huge issue with the fact that they picked my name as War Princess. I'm not, pro-war by any means, nor would I ever, consider myself to be a princess at all. I like to think of myself as badass. If we were in medieval times, I'd be a warrior, not a freaking princess. Unless I was a badass warrior princess. But that's war princess and warrior princess are not the same things at all. Just trust me. I was not happy with that name. They gave it to me, and then I argued with them, and they told me they weren't changing it. So, yeah, I didn't like that name. I had asked them for my name to just be Panzer or something related to my channel, and they wouldn't let me do that. I don't know why. And then the last questions are from Jacob, and it's a set of 3 questions. The first one says, describe the differences between hardcore and casual players and identify which group you belong to, if either. I'm not sure I would put myself in either of those categories. And I think defining hardcore and casual players is a really, like, sticky situation, because I think those are very opinion words. Like, I think someone being hardcore, being casual is a personal opinion. I don't think there's, like, a black and white area. I think it's mostly gray. In my mind, a hardcore player of any game has logged a lot of hours, gained a lot of experience playing the game, has a lot of knowledge of the game, has a lot of knowledge of, like, the micro-social structures in that game. I just think it's someone who, in general, devotes a lot of time to one specific game. I don't think... But that's not to say that someone who plays an eclectic a lot of games aren't hardcore gamers. I don't know. I think, like I said, I think that's a really weird question. I would identify myself as kind of somewhere in between, because I wouldn't say that I'm a casual WoW player by any means. Like, I spend a lot of time playing World of Warcraft, and when I'm not playing World of Warcraft, I'm reading about World of Warcraft. It's more than just a hobby for me, but I don't know. I don't really like that question. I know that sounds weird, but, like, I think that people use... I don't like those types of divisions in the gaming community. I think that we should all just be happy that we're playing games together and let it be at that. I think that a lot of people use casual as an insult, and a lot of people use hardcore as an insult. Like, I don't know. I don't really like those words. We're going to skip that question. Question 2 is, describe a time where you've been negatively impacted by a player of the opposite group, whether it be casual or hardcore. Did this experience affect your opinion of the game or the game company? Again, like I said, I'm not a big fan of, like, casual and hardcore, and, like, I would say I've been more negatively impacted by people who don't play the game a lot, but it doesn't have anything to do with how much they play or even their knowledge. It has to do with their personal attitude, not the game or how much of the game that they play, and it's certainly not the game company's fault. But I think that I think that if people don't know what they're talking about, they should just not talk. Like, if you don't 100% know that the advice you're giving is correct, you shouldn't be giving advice. And I think that a lot of people who don't know as much about games have no problem, like, spouting off about all of their great advice for people, and sometimes it just causes bad things, not good things. I don't know. Again, that's, like, really weird. I don't really like separating gamers into casual gamers and hardcore gamers, because, I mean, some people would consider someone casual who plays cell phone games, and some people would consider a WoW player who spends 35 hours a week on WoW but doesn't raid casual. So it's like, that's my real issue with the word casual, is that, like, there isn't a definitive meaning to it. And me personally, I don't judge people's gaming styles like that. So yeah. Question 3 was, has there ever been a time where players of the opposite group, casual or hardcore, have lobbied to the company to make changes to the game's difficulty, and the company has gone through the change? Did this experience affect your opinion of the game or the game company? Well, obviously, I mean, especially with games like World of Warcraft, you'll always have people who complain on the forums about WoW is too easy or WoW is too hard. And I think the worst thing a game company can do is, like, and, you know, a lot of people are going to get mad for me saying this, but I think that the game company should stick on their path and maybe slightly incorporate feedback. But I think that, like, when you're talking about a game that, like, 10 million people are playing, how could you possibly incorporate everybody's feedback and make a product that people are going to be happy with? You'd be better off just sticking to your original game plan and hoping that those people will adapt to the game. Because I think if you try to adapt the game to the people, you're going to isolate. Like, for instance, in Cataclysm, they tried to make heroic instances at level 85 real hard, and oh, you only get blue gear, and it's just like vanilla, and you know what? That really discouraged a lot of people from Wrath of the Lich King, who ended up quitting. And then in the end of Cataclysm, they re-implemented a lot of things that were in Wrath of the Lich King, heroics that dropped epics, and it's way easier to get, like, Valor points now, and stuff like that. And then the hardcore players are complaining, so it's like, there's really no pleasing all groups, and I think maybe I have a good outside look at that situation, but I don't know. I think people put too much pressure on a game. It's just a game. It's just a game. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. So, Those questions came from Jacob. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A video. If you did, remember to comment or rate it thumbs up. If you want to ask me a question for the next Q&A, you can email it to asktradechat@gmail.com. And I hope you guys are all having a great day. I love you all. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Bye!